Shalom ubracha to my beautiful friends. So as we move forward now in this video, what we discussed last time was this reality that change happens in life. It's probably the only constant thing that happens in life, change. The Nakuda is, as we suggested, most people don't resist change. I think we can observe and we could witness that probably most people, they have issues with the reality of transition. What we define change as is something external. What we define transition is something internal. There's a davar chitzoni and a davar pnimi. There's our emotional state. And what we want to do is to master, to understand and manage our emotional state, that transition into a new change. Now, what we can suggest is that there's three elements to transition. And there are elements within those elements which hopefully will open up. But first, let's speak about the three elements of transition. What we can say, the first element to transition is the art of letting go, the art of sharing our story, and really the art of mourning. This is the first stage, letting go, to realize that there could be no new beginning without an end. We have to end what was. We have to be really conscious about that. We have to end and let go what was. And we have to tell our story. We have to be in a process where we are aware of what we're feeling. We are aware of what's going on inside. And that I call telling our story, sharing, ᴛʀᴏᴏ. Could be even journaling. And I would say, mourning, that we have to stop and just be very real with what's gone on. And then what happens, the second level, the second principle of transition is the neutral ground. The being in the process. It is what it is. I am where I am. It's having the ability to just allow and just to be with the present moment. And then from there, it's to choose new beginnings. It's to choose new beginnings, that I let go and I can tell my story and I could mourn. I can be then in the present, be in a state of process, just process what's going on in real time, be now, be in a neutral state, just to be with whatever is going on. And then the third is choosing new beginnings and allowing new beginnings to occur. What we can suggest is that whenever a door closes, a new door is going to open. Now, what happens if we don't let go and we're constantly hanging on to what was? Sometimes the biggest brachas in front of us, and it's so sad, but we miss it because we never realized the door was open. Whenever a door shuts, a new door opens. And we have to allow that new door to open, and we have to eventually allow ourselves to walk through that new door. Now, what happens, as we mentioned, we can create a similarity of process with Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim and leaving Mitzrayim is called an ending. Moshe Rabbeinu takes us out of Mitzrayim, there's 10 plagues, there's an ending, there's a very definitive ending. Then what happens is we spend 40 years in the desert. We go in the desert for 40 years, and this is the aspect of processing. This is neutral area, that no one knows what's going on. Sometimes there's a little bit of confusion. We just are. We pick up, we go here, we pick up, we go there. And then we have the new beginning, which is called Eretz Yisrael. This is a new beginning. Now, what happens if we miss any of these stages? Sometimes we don't allow ourselves, again, to experience the immense bracha that's there for us. Because we didn't let go, we didn't mourn, we didn't experience the process of just moving into something different. And then when we choose something, it's really going to be a replaying of what was. And what we can suggest is with many people that they're holding on, they haven't done the inner work, they haven't done the transition in a quality way. So many people, they experience change, but because they haven't experienced transition, what happens, they get caught up in an old life. They get caught up in an old way of living. They get caught up in old beliefs, old memories, and they're haunted by the past. And what we're suggesting here is, if we understand this model of letting go and mourning, spending time just being in the now and just being, and then once you've gone through that process adequately, and then we could choose something new, when we come into that something new, when we walk through that door, we're mamash whole and shalem. We can actually take this process not just from the narrative as a historical process, as a Vilna Gaon and Ramchal perspective, a historical process, but we could take it inside, a Baal Shem Tov process, an Aveda process. What we can suggest, and for a number of you we've mentioned this many times before, that we have three realities that manifest as Am Yisrael move from slavery to freedom. The first is called Cherus. Physically, we are now free. Cherus, stage one. However, being physically free is really not enough. There's another stage, and that's called Pidyon, change of status. I now move out of a mentality of being a slave, and I change my status. I start to be in the moment and experience a different way of living. A Pidyon, change of status. I'm now not what I was. I'm now something new. I'm a Bria Chadasha. And then eventually what happens? Then we move into the realm of B'nai Chorin. What's a Chor? Chorin, Chor. It's a hole. What's children of the holes is that now we could look outside and there's new beginnings. Now I could look outside. I'm not so self-absorbed in my old story. I'm a victim. I was a slave. No, I've let go of that. I've moved in to a pidyon and I'm letting go of what was. I'm changing myself. I'm educating myself. I'm relating to the world differently. I'm relating to myself differently. I'm relating to my friends differently. Then eventually, B'nai Chorin, I've mastered, I've let go, and I've mastering myself. I can look out, B'nai Chorin, I could see what's missing in the world. And then I could live a purpose-driven life. I could move into a new reality, B'nai Chorin, living a purpose-driven and focused-driven life. So Be'ezras Hashem, transition, the internal workings of Adam, transition. The ability to let go, the ability to tell our story and mourn. Next is just being in a state of process, just being with what's going on. And then from there, Be'ezras Hashem, when the magic occurs, and we have to experiment and experience, we have to work a little bit to figure out, is it time to move on? Has the door opened? Can I walk through that door? So Be'ezras Hashem, mamash, we should go from strength to strength. And we should be involved in transition and really owning what's going on and taking everything as an opportunity for growth. Be'ezras Hashem, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, remember how beautiful we are, remember how fantastic and perfect we are, and remember the world is waiting for us to give the world the most authentic and beautiful us it's been waiting for since the beginning of time.